Hey everyone, this is a look we're going to be doing today. It's inspired by a look that was in Sephora's 2007 holiday catalog. However, I'm going to be using BH Cosmetics. So I already applied my primer. I used Urban Decay Primer Potion. And most of the colors, actually all the colors, are going to focus from the 88 Colors Cool Palette. And to start with, I just used that blue color that I highlighted and the BH Cosmetics smudge brush, and I packed on the color. All of these colors I basically made sure to pat them on, and that by patting the color on, it helps you to get more color, more vibrancy, better color payoff basically. But once you have enough color put on to your lid that it satisfies you, I only went about 2/3 of the way across my lid. You want to go ahead and just use the same brush, clean it off if you have to, and then soften out any harsh lines. I used 3 different brushes for this next step for the next color, but I only used this one purple color right there. To start with, I used BH Cosmetics, the same smudge brush. I just cleaned off the blue on a towel that I have. And again, I packed on the color and then tried to place it where I wanted to as much as possible in the remainder of my lid towards the outer corner. And then I went in a bit in my crease with it. I also went ahead and started to soften out any harsh lines. Again, just keep packing on the color. I then took the crown brush, angled fluff brush, and because I wanted to be more precise on how far, on where I was putting the color as I was going towards my inner corner, that's the only reason I switched brushes, was just so I could have more control of where I was placing the color. But once I got it in there, I basically went through and blended it out. And then I also used the MAC 217 brush later on to help soften out the harsh line that was above my crease. And I just used a circular motion with the 217 brush. Now, because I wanted to deepen my crease a little bit, I took this navy blue color that was right next to the purple and used the crown angled fluff brush and basically applied it right into my socket area. And this just helped to define my crease a bit more and give my eye some definition and more depth. And it's always blended out. Now, if you find that you kind of covered up too much purple, or if it's not purple enough for you to your liking, then just take the purple eyeshadow again along with the smudger brush and just apply it right over where you went with that deep navy blue color, and that'll put back in some of the purple that was lost underneath the blue. For my lower lash line, I used that same purple and a MAC 231 brush, and I applied it all along my lower lash line, all the way into my into my inner corner. For a brow highlight, I used a matte color that is from the BH Cosmetics 120 Pro palette, the 3rd edition. It's a really nice color. It's not too light, so it may be perfect for some of you. It matches my skin tone pretty well. It's just a tad bit lighter, so it works perfect for me as an under brow highlight. And I used my typical Face Secrets shadow blender brush that I always tend to use for my highlight. For the eyeliner, I lined along my upper lash line with Makeup Forever's Aqua Liner in black. Their color numbers are like 0L and 1L, and they have weird colors for their liners, but whatever, it works, I don't care. But after I went ahead and applied it, I then took the MAC 231 brush and I kind of tried to wipe off some of the purple, but not too much of it that was still left on from the lower lash line. And I went ahead and I smudged out my liner. And the only reason I left a little bit of purple is because it helped to add that hint of purple along the lash line that is in the look from the Sephora catalog. Once you've got it all smudged out, then you can go ahead and line your waterline and your lower waterline and your upper waterline. Again, if you have sensitive eyes or if you just don't like doing this, it's optional. All it does is really add more drama. If you have smaller eyes, it will make your eyes look smaller, so you may not want to do this. Once I finished that, I then applied the eyeliner right to my lash line, but only to about the outer third. And then again, I took the MAC 231 brush and smudged it along my lower lash line to help create the illusion of having fuller lashes. If you want to go for some extra drama, you can go ahead and apply some false lashes, although this is completely optional. And while my eyelash glue was drying, I went ahead and I finished up the rest of my makeup, such as my concealer, my foundation, my eyebrows, blush and all that other stuff. Like I said in other videos, however you do your makeup, whether you do your foundation first or your eye makeup first, it's really a personal preference. I've gotten into the habit of doing my eye makeup first just to avoid all the fallout. For my eyebrows, I used MAC Swiss Chocolate, which sometimes tends to be a bit dark. So to lighten it up, once I go through and fill in my brows, I will take a mascara brush, otherwise called a spoolie brush, and brush through my eyebrows very lightly because I don't want to remove too much color, but I want to remove just enough so it doesn't look like I'm screaming, "Hey, I have eyebrows!" So yeah. Okay. If you applied false eyelashes, once the glue has dried, you'll want to go over the lash line with your black eyeliner again, because that will just help to conceal the little plastic piece that your eyelashes are attached to. And then I went through and again smudged the liner a bit. Now if you do that, be very careful so that you don't pull your lashes off again. And then apply mascara. For my blush, I used MAC Mineralize blush in Dainty, and I really only applied it to the side of my cheek. I didn't apply too much of it to my apple because in the look she doesn't really have a lot of blush on the apple of her cheeks. If you want to go ahead and contour, you can also go ahead and do all of your contouring. She didn't have much contouring going on in the look though, because she had a pretty well-defined bone structure already. Now I went through and applied a highlight to the top of my cheek and to the apple of my cheek just to brighten up the center of my face as hers was. And then for the lips in the catalog, she had a lot of glitter on her lips, but I kind of wanted to go for a more wearable look with this, so I just went for a nude lip as usual. I like nude lips. But I used MAC Subculture lip liner, followed by Maybelline Color Sensational lip color in Warm Me Up, and I believe the color number is 235. And then last but not least, Hard Candy Plexi Gloss in Genie. And I use Genie because it has a lot of glitter in it. So if you still want to go for that glitter effect without having that much of a glitter effect, Genie would be a pretty good substitute because it has some gold glitter in it. And Genie's just a good color to have anyways, so yeah. But that's the look, and I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!